The Devil's Double, a 2011 alleged biographical thriller directed by Lee Tamahori and starring Dominic Cooper and Dominic Cooper. In 1987, battle-hardened Iraqi soldier Latif Yahia, I believe, is taken off the front lines of the Iran-Iraq War by executive order and brought before Saddam Hussein's sadistic first son, also played by Dominic Cooper, Uday Hussein. Due to the two's extreme physical similarities, Latif is given an offer for the job of becoming Uday's body double. By offer, I mean if he refuses, his whole family will be executed. So, of course, Latif can't refuse. And, yeah. Now, this is apparently based on a true story. The actual, the Latif Yahia, the actual person, has wrote several books about it and been interviewed several times. And there's actually a lot of people who believe he's told his whole story is bullshit. I unfortunately don't know enough to really call one way or another about that, but regardless, this story is an awesome story, regardless of how true or false it may be. And I don't know how many people know that much about Uday Hussein, Saddam Hussein's really horrible first son, but he did a lot of horrible things while during his father's reign, presumably before. And this movie does not shy away from it. In fact, if nothing else, this movie is worth watching just for people who don't know too much about that to learn about. But even regardless of that, this is still a very intense, not for the faint of heart, but very intense movie that will grab you by the throat and won't let go. In fact, I will say this is probably one of my favorite movies that I've seen in the last couple of years. So this is probably I'm going to try to make this as enthusiastic as possible because I really love this movie. I really do. As I stated before, Dominic Cooper plays both Uday Hussein and the star main character Latif Yahia. He does a pretty good job. Like he's constantly got to alternate between both parts, and that's not easy for an actor to do. I'm not sure what camera tricks they use to do that. I know there's a lot of ways you got to edit it together, make it look right. Maybe it's better now with CGI and like way you can digitally insert the same actor in the same frame, like they're two different people. But yeah, so basically Latif, like I said, forced into becoming Uday's double. They pretty much give him plastic surgery to make sure every little detail that looks as similar as possible. But Uday is supposed to be his existence is supposed to be a state secret for obvious reasons. Because his father Saddam also had a whole bunch, several different body doubles that he would take for obvious reasons as well. But basically, Uday pretty much just almost seems like he just wants us to be his new best friend, or Amir himself or something. Because most of the time, he usually just accompanies Uday wherever he goes in broad daylight. Then the only time he becomes Uday's double is when Uday doesn't actually want to go anywhere, like at least too lazy or just doesn't have the mood to go anywhere for him. So he has Latif do it instead. And Uday Hussein was a horrible fucking person. Like there are times when he made his father look good. That is not like I said. That is the one thing about this movie is true, and that's proven true. And in fact, if anything, it may even tone down how much of a horrible piece of shit this guy was. Like this guy would just rape underage girls if he was horny, not give a shit, and because he was the first son, nobody really could ever do anything about it. He would kill people who didn't like. He obviously one of the most famous stories or infamous stories is when one of the Iraqi Olympic teams did poorly one year. I don't know if it was once or maybe probably happened more than once. He pretty much had them all tortured really horribly. I don't know if he killed them too or just tortured them, but he did, and he got away with it because he was the president's son. But yeah, so yeah, like the main character is Latif, and like he's you feel for him because he's like in this totally messed up situation from which there is no escape from. He's just desperately trying to survive. Even if you know if you heard about the story, you know how it ends. But it's a really intense movie. And see, it was directed by like I said, it was directed by Lee Tamahori. He directed The Edge with he directed The Edge with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. I think that's probably the only other real notable film he's done. He directed an episode of The Sopranos. Oh, he directed Die Another Day. Did not know that. And also directed one of the Alex Cross adaptations of Long Time Spider with Morgan Freeman. But yeah, this is actually he hasn't done any, I don't think he's done any other movies. He also did some really bad movies too. He did Triple X, State of the Union, and Next with Nicolas Cage. So he's done some pretty bad ones too. But yeah, he hasn't made anything since Devil's Double, which was about 3 years ago now, because it's 2014. But yeah, he's pretty good in this. I hope to see him get more work now. This movie also follows in the tradition of Zero Dark 30. I'm not sure if it was made. Actually, I think it may have come out before Zero Dark 30. But same type of tradition these days, where an totally independently made movie, but it's so well produced that it looks like a big budget Hollywood film. So a lot of people are complaining about that because it kind of takes some of the artistry out of indie filmmaking, and I can see that argument. But at the same time, it's good to see indie movies like this. Because usually the only time you ever see a movie with balls, is if it's a foreign language film. And this would have been cool if this had been all in the Iraqi language. I'm not sure what. No, I think I call it. I'm not sure what the Iraqi language is called. But that would have been cool. But I don't think most people who can speak the language would be liberal enough to make a movie this uncensored. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't mean any offense if I'm wrong about that. But I don't know. But even this movie's in English, but it's still worth watching. Like I said, it would have been cool if they had filmed it all in the native Iraqi language, but it's still an awesome movie. I'm not going to take too much away from it. And like I said, because it's independently made, it's got a lot more balls, a lot more brutal than most mainstream films that you see in Hollywood. Everyone was talking about this movie when it first came out, because I don't think it ever got a major theatrical release in the U.S. Yeah. But yeah, this is a movie that people really struggle. Like I said, it's my favorite, probably one of the best movies I've seen in recent years. There's still a lot of movies made these recent years that I haven't seen yet. But there are movies like Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is a damn good movie, and The Avengers and The Dark Knight Rises, and then there's this movie. So yeah, I've still seen decent amount. This is definitely one of my favorites. It's definitely, I don't know if it's on the top of the list, but it's close to the top of the list. But all right, anything else before I forget? Oh yeah, like I said, Dominic Cooper is awesome playing both the roles, both titular roles, and it's a shame that he's still kind of reduced to doing movies like Need for Speed. I want to see him do more. Okay, maybe not necessarily movies like this, but I want to see him really act more. And yeah, there are some other actors in this, but he steals the show. None of the other actors, the acting is decent. I wish they had gone with I wish they had gotten Yagel Nayor. Not sure, probably butchering his name, but he portrayed Saddam Hussein in the HBO miniseries House of Saddam, which is the joint HBO BBC miniseries. Which is a really good miniseries. A little dry, but he was pretty good in that. I said they got somebody else to portray. So it would have been really awesome to see him, but I guess I don't blame him because he didn't want to get typecast. But yeah, aside from Dominic Cooper, none of the actors are bad, but nobody really steals the show like Dominic Cooper does. Dominic Cooper, even if you just like method acting, if you're a fan of one of those types of people who watch this movie just for the acting, watch this movie for that. As I said, this movie is very brutal, very unflinching, not for everyone. But if you can watch movies like The Raid, and that doesn't phase you, then you'll have no trouble. But yeah, like I said, awesome movie. Yeah, you can definitely check this out if you can. Yeah, awesome movie. I love this movie.